You know what? Let's start this a little impromptu questioning here with Jason Leffler, who's on the hotline. Jason, top of the morning to you.
Hey, Jace.
Hey, what's happening?
How are you?
Someone's birthday, huh?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Pistol Pete is celebrating a birthday. Wild guess. How old do you think he is?
46.
I wish. You're about 20 short.
20 short, huh? 60, 66?
He's double dipping. He's taking Social Security and he's working here.
That's crazy, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
How are you, Jason? Everything all right?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Good.
How's it going there? Happy birthday.
Thank you. We're doing well. We're having fun as usual. Getting ready for a big weekend. You're coming to my backyard on Saturday to Chicagoland Speedway. Look, before we get to that though, tell us about your day at Charlotte on this past Saturday in the Top Gear 300.
Yeah, I mean, we had a good day. We ran out of gas at the end, and so we were running fourth, fifth. Ran top 7 all day, and Great Clips Chevy was really fast. So we're getting there, and the last 3 weeks we've had really good cars, and we have nothing to show for it. We ran out of fuel at Dover. We blew up at well, I didn't say we blew up, but we burned our motor down there at Iowa, and then this past weekend we ran out of fuel again. So now that we have fast cars, we can't seem to make it to the end of the race. For the beginning of the season was opposite. So, well, I guess the silver lining is the cars are fast. So once we figure all that out, then we'll be able to get to the end here and get some really good finishes.
How do you fight through the frustration level? Because I know you're frustrated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was frustrated at the beginning of the season because our cars weren't real fast, but we were still getting top 10 finishes. We were just by trip pit strategy and the way Eddie Pardue was calling the race and stuff. And now we got fast cars, and it's just the way it's racing, So, I mean, you just keep going and look forward to it. I mean, we feel like we're on to some pretty good things with our race car. It's not like it's not black magic that we just show up and our cars are fast. So we've been running the same setup and just fine tuning on it. So there's no reason why we won't go to Chicago this weekend and be fast again. So, that part of it is definitely relieving, and keeps you going through when you have a disappointed finish. It keeps you going.
Take us inside of a racer's mindset. A racer that, like you, has had some good runs this year, been in contention to possibly win some races. You got luck kicking in to keep you out of there. You got stuff breaking or whatever to keep you out of there. The frustration level, keeping that in check and keeping focus week in and week out, not let it eat you up. A lot of folks cannot understand that because they're not in your position. How do you do it as a race car driver?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm used to it by now. I mean, we're in a good position to win, fight for the championship in the last 3 weeks. We've pretty much taken ourselves right out of it. So, I don't know. You just keep digging, keep going. I mean, they're not going to give you those points back. You got to earn them back. So that's part of the motivation of just going to the next week and doing it all over again. So the guys are doing a great job. We have great pit stops. Like I say, we got great support from Great Clips, Motors, and Hendrick Engines. Everything's going good. We just the last 3 weeks have not been on it. We have not had things go our way at the end of the race. So. But I mean, as far as getting through it, it's just part of your job, and I think in auto racing, there's probably more downs than there is ups. And so, years of experience, you learn to deal with them.
Saturday, you're going to be at Chicagoland Speedway, the STP 300, a little different format this year, a standalone race for you guys in the Nationwide Series, under the lights on a Saturday night. What's your thoughts going into that event and running a one-day show here in Chicago?
Yeah, I think going to a venue like that, that is the biggest racetrack and biggest venue that the Nationwide Series has been to in a long time as a standalone event. So I think it's big. It's big for our series, big for Nationwide Insurance, all our sponsors, Great Clips, and it's really cool. Plus, I enjoy the racetrack. It's a fun place to race. There's always a couple groups around there, and I think it's cool. Saturday, a nice Saturday night race. So it should be a lot of fun.
How much did that racetrack change, Jason, when they put lights in and you guys went under the lights from when you have to run out there in the hot sun?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the track's more consistent at night. You don't have the sun beating on it. I mean, I wouldn't say it gains a huge amount of grip, but it just doesn't change a whole lot through the night, like it would in the day, a late afternoon race where you start in the heat of the day, and as the sun goes down or changes, the track changes quite a bit. So it makes it more consistent. I think the fans enjoy, obviously, the night racing because, you know, the sparks are flying and cars look like they're going faster, and just there's nothing better than a good old Saturday night race in a good midwestern town like that. So I'm sure the race fans will be out full force.
Talking with Jason Leffler, who joins us on the hotline this weekend, piloting the number 38 STP Chevrolet. Matter of fact, all of Turner Motorsports cars, the entire 4-car fleet in Saturday's STP 300 will be adorned by the STP logos. You got Jason in the 38, Reed Sorensen in the 32, Justin Allgaier in the 31, and Mikey Kyle will drive the 30. Jason, what did that STP logo and the STP presence in racing mean to you when you were growing up through the ranks? I know STP's been around a long time. They stepped aside. Good to see them come back here this weekend.
Yeah, it's really cool to have STP on a race car. I mean, obviously, everybody has the memories of Richard Petty in the STP car. I have not memories, but, you know, I grew up around Parnelli Jones, so he drove that STP turbine car to, I don't know, it was maybe 5 laps to the end of the Indy 500. He had the whole field lapped down, and the thing broke. So that car is really famous and sticks into my mind. But the Granatellis and you know, the Indy cars with STP on it. So that's where my memories come from. So it's pretty cool to have that on the deck lid. It's cool to see them getting back into racing, and hopefully they'll stay involved in NASCAR for a long time.
Speaking of the Indy 500, I know you watched what happened up there on Sunday. Unbelievable finish there, and man, I've seen the replay 10 times, and I still feel bad for J.R. Hildebrand there coming out of turn 4.
I do too. I think there was probably 300,000 people there that felt bad for him. And the race was his. But I don't know what to say. It was a big mistake. Dan Weldno really hauls butt at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, so it was cool to see him win again. There's a lot of controversy early on in the week because he wasn't listed as on one of the best 33 drivers on that list that they accumulated, and his stats kind of speak for themselves. I think he's won it twice and run second twice, so that's a pretty special place to be good at.
Yeah, and what's interesting is he's won the Indy 500 2 times, Jason, but you're still in a better position than he is today because you have a job and Dan Weldon's on the unemployment line.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's everybody talks about the economy and how it's affected NASCAR, but we're really lucky. We have a good product that the sponsors still recognize, and for their dollar amount they put in, we give them a great return. The IndyCar racing is exciting, but I mean, I think from an economical standpoint, they're hurting, and so I think that makes us all fortunate to for all of us to be in NASCAR and the great product we put in front of the fans every week. I think our sponsors enjoy it, and they get more return than they would if they were in some other form of series, auto racing.
In the context of the conversation we just had about J.R. Hildebrand and even Dale Earnhardt Jr. Sunday at Charlotte, as a race car driver that is counting down laps as the leader, it looks like that you're on your way to a victory, you're clicking off laps and counting down laps. What are you thinking and what are you feeling as those laps click off and you take the white flag coming to the checker trying to win the event? Are you listening for things that perhaps you haven't listened for? Are you talking to yourself? What kind of thoughts are you having trying to get back to that checker flag to get the win? I'm
sure in Earnhardt and Junior's position, he was just worried about fuel. I'm sure he didn't think he had the race won until he crossed the checkered flag. I mean, that's just, he had to know he was tied on fuel, and everybody around him did too, and that ran out. J.R. Hildebrand, I don't know what he was thinking. I felt so bad for him. That lap car really got in his way, and it's easy to sit back and watch on a big screen and say, you should have done this, should have done that. So, but on coming down to the last laps, yeah, if you have a big lead and things, you're always kind of, you just want to get to the end of the race, especially the last portion of the race. If you got a dominant car, you just want it to go by quickly and get it over with because you never know what can happen, and we saw that this weekend for sure.
As always, thanks for the time. Have fun in Chicagoland. We'll talk with you next Wednesday.
See you this weekend, Jason.
All right, guys. Thanks.
See you, man.